The Super Bowl is officially behind us. The lights are off, the confetti is swept up. And now the real season begins for the Chicago Bears. Because this offseason, it's not about headlines. It's about building a contender the right way. If the Bears want to stop being on the rise and actually become a problem in 2026, this draft class has to deliver. If you're locked in for every move this offseason, hit that like button, share this with another Bears fan, and subscribe so we can break down every decision together. Alright, this is a full 7-round post-Super Bowl mock draft, version 3.0 for the 2026 cycle. No reckless trades at the top. No desperation moves. Just smart roster construction built around value and long-term vision. We're sitting at pick 25. No trade up. No trade down. And I'm selecting Lee Hunter, defensive tackle out of Texas Tech. Let's really talk about this. The Bears need interior defensive line help in the worst way. You cannot consistently pressure quarterbacks if the pocket is clean up the middle. Javon Dexter is entering a contract year, and beyond 2026, his future feels uncertain at best. You need a plan. Lee Hunter has become one of the most fascinating prospects in this class. Some evaluators see him as a top 20 player. Others think he could slide into the 40s. That wide range tells you teams are still evaluating his ceiling. But what we know is undeniable. He dominated during Senior Bowl practices. Dominated to the point where he didn't even need to play in the game itself. Coaches and scouts saw enough. That's the kind of week that moves a player firmly into round 1 consideration. He's powerful at the point of attack. He's disruptive against the run. He collapses pockets. And when you have edge rushers on the outside, interior push makes their lives easier. Pressure up the middle changes games. Now think about the bigger picture. Edge rusher can be addressed in free agency or via trade. There are veteran options every year at that spot. But true impact defensive tackles sitting at 25. That's not guaranteed. If you're staying at 25, who's your realistic dream target? I want names in the comments. Now let's shake it up in round 2. Pick 57. I'm making a move with the Raiders. Slide back 10 spots to 67 and pick up pick 102 in the 4th round. Extra draft capital matters when you have multiple areas to improve. At 67, I'm selecting Kamari Ramsey, safety out of USC. Ramsey started at UCLA before transferring to USC, and what stands out most is his development arc. Every season, he got better. He's not just a deep safety or a box-only defender. He's versatile. He communicates. He tackles. He understands spacing. Let's be honest, the safety room needs serious help. Even if Kevin Byard re-signs, you still need another starter. You can't rely on patchwork solutions again. Ramsey gives you flexibility and youth at a critical position. Question of the day: should the Bears prioritize drafting a safety in the top 3 rounds, or trust free agency to fix that spot? Comment below and let's settle it. Now into round 3. Kyle Lewis, linebacker out of Pitt. This pick screams modern NFL. He's slightly undersized by traditional standards, but the game has changed. Speed and coverage ability are premium traits. Over the last 2 seasons at Pitt, he was arguably their most impactful defender. During Senior Bowl week, evaluators couldn't stop mentioning how he flew around the field. The Bears need more range at linebacker. T.J. Edwards is instinctive, but he's not a sideline-to-sideline burner. Tremaine Edmonds has been solid, but the explosiveness hasn't always shown up consistently. Kyle Lewis brings burst. He brings closing speed. And he brings coverage upside, especially having played some safety earlier in his career. That versatility helps against tight ends and running backs in space. Yes, rookies make mistakes. That's part of development. But you cannot teach speed. And this defense needs to get faster. Now round 4, pick 102, the extra selection from the trade. Austin Barber, offensive tackle from Florida. Left tackle remains one of the biggest questions on this roster. Injuries have created instability. Competition hasn't been consistent. You cannot go into 2026 hoping that problem just disappears. Barber is a multi-year starter who played his best football this past season. He graded well in the run game and only allowed 3 sacks. His pass protection still needs refinement, but that's coachable. In the 4th round, you're looking for upside and competition. Barber provides both. He doesn't have to start day 1, but he absolutely needs to push whoever is in front of him. Real competition raises the floor of your entire offensive line. At pick 129, I'm taking Kaytron Allen, running back from Penn State. Quiet production, but serious production. Over 1,300 rushing yards and 15 touchdowns this season. He's not primarily known as a receiving threat, but he has a strong combination of size, balance, and elusiveness. For a bigger back, his broken tackle numbers were impressive. He doesn't go down easily. And in cold weather football, that matters. He doesn't need to carry the offense right away. But in a rotation, he brings physicality and long-term upside. Building depth in the backfield protects you against injuries and contract uncertainty down the line. Round 5, pick 163. Malachi Lawrence, edge rusher from UCF. 7 sacks this season. Explosive flashes. Measurements will matter, arm length, weight, but on day 3, you're drafting traits and development potential. You can never have too many pass rushers. Rotations keep players fresh. Injuries happen every season. If Lawrence develops into a reliable rotational edge, that's a win in round 5. No 6th round pick, so we move to the 7th. Jalen Catalon, experienced defensive back with multiple years of starting experience. He gives you depth, special teams value, and insurance in the secondary. Then Micah Morris, guard out of Georgia. Multi-year starter at a powerhouse program. According to grading metrics, he never allowed a sack. That doesn't guarantee NFL success, but it speaks to technique and consistency. You should draft at least 1 offensive lineman every year. Preferably 2. Depth in the trenches determines how far you go in January. Let's zoom out and evaluate the entire class. Lee Hunter reinforces the interior defensive line. Kamari Ramsey stabilizes safety. Kyle Lewis injects speed into the linebacker group. Austin Barber competes at left tackle. Kaytron Allen adds power and depth at running back. Malachi Lawrence provides edge upside. Catalon and Morris strengthen overall roster depth. This isn't about flashy headlines. It's about building layers of talent. It's about increasing competition across the roster. It's about protecting yourself against future contract decisions and injuries. If 3 of these players become reliable starters, that's a successful draft. If 4 hit, you've shifted the trajectory of this team. Now give me your grade. A, B, C, D, or F. The Super Bowl is over. But the path to the next one. It starts right now. Bear down.